do you spell like tassel? Oh, how's it going, man? Tassel might be double. Oh, shit! Oh, that was really good. Oh, shit, that was really good. I'm good too, man. I'm good too. It was a good day today. A good day. Wizzy look like Jesus? What do you mean look like? Am. Donate if you want to get into heaven. I wanted to pop by. I can't stay. Okay. Okay, maybe a bad person to say it too. Need to stop on any chopper. Alright, thanks, Chris. I appreciate you, buddy. Have a good night. Am I... No, I think we talked about this. You're still like slightly ahead of me in terms of COI, but it's only like a little bit. Okay, so... Nasty... I put meat on your plate. 9 months. If Rem gets into heaven, it's not heaven anymore. That's not a word. Tasty? Let's go! 4! Alright. 4 is a good Wordle score. 4 is a good Wordle score. The fuck is crossplay? We'll try that in a second. Play friends in this two-player word game. Oh, that seems cool. Hot seat, spotlight, fish microscope, fishbowl effect. Let's go. Where are we again? 289. Let's take a look. That's the wrong. I'll have to take a look. Normally I just rely on my chapter names, chapter numbers to help. Now I gotta remember. Let me go find it. Hold on. I am the needy, very much so. I require a lot of upkeep, honestly. Last stream I can find in that 297. Then I guess 298. Really? I ended right before 300? Oh yeah, because you told me like 300 and like a couple chapters need to be read together. So we stopped before. Yeah. Let's see how Game of Thrones then. What, you leaving? I'm gonna try Demon of Hatred. Alright, have fun. You did, yeah. Mafia Company. By the way, I will say I have officially beaten Sekiro. No one can ever say I finally beat that piece of shit game. It took so long. I as soon as I finished it, I gave it a 0 out of 10 on Steam. Highly never recommend to anyone to play, except for bragging points, I guess. Ugh. Animal wearable. Werewolf, where? Ah, that's gotta be one of them. Same, yeah, called it. Fozzie, Beaker, Gonzo, E Street Band. I don't fucking know. Gonzo, Fozzie, Beaker. Fox. Beaker's gotta be. Fuck. I did beat Sekiro. It took a while, I'm not gonna lie to you. Genichiro took a little while. That wasn't too bad. The fucking ape took a while. The ape took a while. That one was a bit. After that, I think it was pretty much smooth sailing until I got down to Ishin. I started Ishin Friday night. I played for like 2 hours. Couldn't beat him. Saturday morning, played for like 2 hours. Couldn't beat him. Saturday afternoon, played for like 2 hours. Couldn't beat him. Saturday night, played for like another hour. Couldn't beat him. Sunday morning, I played for about 2 hours and I got him. He alone took me like a quarter of my playtime. It was incredible how fucking good he was. Like that was genuinely and from the start it was like, it's not a bullshit boss fight. It's not like, oh, you know, he has like bullshit attacks you can't avoid or this or that. No, it was just genuinely a really difficult, good boss fight. That was fun. That was the time I beat him, I was like, it was like noon on Sunday, and I was like, dude, like I have so much stuff to do today. Like I can't spend my whole day here. And I died. And I went, motherfucker, I will cancel all of my plans. I will waste my entire fucking weekend here stuck to this chair. And then I beat him on the next try. And yeah, that's it. That's it. It's over, boys. We got him. We got him. Genichiro was like a good skill check. Like genuinely, like I found like I had to learn things for him. But then as soon as I beat him, it was like, oh, like, okay, that was fun. Owl, I beat in like 2 tries, or maybe not 2, but like 5 tries maybe. Like it wasn't bad at all. Owl was quite easy. Apparently, I know there's like a father owl you can fight that's way harder, but where I was in the game, I apparently like was too far in and I like locked myself out of it and I wasn't gonna fucking... Yeah, harsh. The final time I beat Ishin, I think I had like 5 flasks left. Like I had nearly everything left at the end. Like I just got it. It just made sense. Here, 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 here. I think I come out ahead. Wait, what? Why is this bad? Oh, wait, here you go here instead. Here, here, and then you went. Easy. That was dumb. You can just... Oh, he didn't see it. You could have just taken the pawn. No. I push. Here, here. No, it's not worth it. Roll the timeout merchant strike again. Win's a win, baby. Doesn't matter if it's by an inch or a mile. That's what I say. Now he could go here. But then the threat is also on here. Double attack. Pay for the move. Okay, this is okay. If he goes here, then I just go here. I gotta get my queen out of here, though. This whole pin situation is just agonizing. Okay, bro. Okay. Bro thinks he did something there. Just give myself an escape score and we're chilling. Okay. What do you think you're doing here? I'm so curious. The fuck? You should have resigned when you lost your queen, bro. I don't know what you were wasting my fucking time for. Idiot. I'm sorry, Harsh. Fucking call me what again? Call me what? How much time did I have? How much time did he have? Oh. Didn't fucking think so. How many of my last have I even won with fucking timeouts? What's my stats? Would I find it under stats? Must have been the wind. That shit was not the wind, bro. That shit was not me. Yo, Aaron, how's it going? And plus, 8:31, nearly perfect timing to start stream. Let's go, 10 out of 10 across the board. Want to play? Yeah, Aaron, we can play. We can play if you want to play. I'm gonna warn you, it's gonna be an unranked match. I don't know what you're rated. I don't want to find out. The harsh way, anyway. Do I have you added or no? Aaron Solis. Aaron, what's your chess.com? How? No, I don't have you. $1,400? Who do you think I am? I'm just kidding. Let's go, bitch. Mama ain't raised no bitch. Let's go. Yeah, okay, he's 1,200 rated, which means really he's about as good as I was. Oh my fucking god, everyone does this cringe shit. Wow, bro, you're so goated. Oh, you cunt! Oh, you... Good tactic. Genuinely good tactic. That was good. It works. I'm sorry, Kami. Fucking eat your shit, bro. Eat your fucking words. Let's go, baby. GG's. GG's, Aaron. Oh, good game. Let's go, baby. Never give up on the chance of victory, baby. This is why you do your fucking puzzles, ladies and gentlemen. Because I was hoping when he did this, he would see this. Now, of course, he would never take with this, because then I would take. And even though he's up material, it's just, he doesn't want to lose his queen for that. But it's just, so I was like, oh, he's probably going to think that. So I was like, okay, like he might move his shit around to like attack more. As long as, like, he would never do some retarded shit like this, because that's just losing. But I was like, dude, as much as he fucking, as long as he does anything attacking, here, has to go back here, sacrifice the queen, checkmate. That was my thing. I didn't realize, him bringing the rook here was just even funnier, because, well, as soon as I go here, he goes here, and I take, and I don't even need to sacrifice the queen, I just win. It was just funny. That's so jokes. Aaron, he had me on the ropes the entire... Like, I'm genuinely getting my ass... Like, what is the fucking rating at the end? You see, you got cocky. You get 650. What happened to your rating, big bro? Oh my god, 5.5. Like, he legitimately just has me dead to rights. Here, 4.6. Maiden 2. Never ever give up on the chances of victory. Always go for the win, baby. And that's what my master Jiraiya Sensei taught me. Data bio. Let's go. Aaron, I'm never going to play you again. That was great. Officially, our record is now 1-0. You're going to have to live with that. There's no chances of you ever getting a rematch. Get fucking rolled, is all I have to say. Bye. Am I scared of a rematch? Oh, I'm sorry. Does America go, does Vietnam go fighting the fucking US all over again? You think so? No, I won. What do I have to prove? I don't have anything to prove to you. I beat your ass, okay? You came into my house and challenged me and thought you were the hot shit. Okay, your ass beat. Now you want a fucking rematch? I don't think so, buddy. You gotta just wallow in that. 0-1, baby. 0-1. Mr. Fool's Church. Lumen was both surprised and surprised by the answer. Win and dipped, just like Klein. Hey, I'm not giving no run back. You think Klein is giving a run back to Amon? Fuck that. He had expected the Church of the Fool to have a large number of Beyonders from the prisoner pathway, but he figured that according to the Bible's description, it wasn't surprising for anyone from any pathway to appear. Franka smiled and began to explain. Actually, the prisoner pathway Beyonders of the Rose School of Thought and the prisoner pathway Beyonders of the Church of the Fool were originally one. They fractured, Lumen guessed? The Rose School of Thought is an incredibly ancient organization, boasting a history stretching back over 2,000 millennia. Or sorry, over 2 millennia, even predating the Fourth Epoch. When he learned that the... when he learned that the Iron and Blood Cross Order has been established only 200 or 300 years ago, he had considered it ancient, but compared to the Rose School of Thought, the Iron and Blood Cross Order seemed like a child. Franka continued, the Rose School of Thought was originally an Orthodox organization on the southern continent, ruling the Paz Valley and Star Highlands, where the government and church were one, until the invasion of the northern continent's countries. When the invasion occurred, they lost their country and went underground, becoming clandestine. On the one hand, they resisted the colonists and attempted to expel them from the southern continent. On the other, they frequently caused terrorist acts in the northern continent. This actually had no effect to their resistance prior to their colonization. Instead, it incurred the hatred of the people of various countries. Naturally, their goal might not be this. Perhaps it's purely for blood sacrifice and rituals. How did they fracture, Lumion asked. The Rose School of Thought has held different beliefs for ages. Their core principles revolved around the notion that willpower is born from diverse desires, capable of reshaping reality and achieving incredible results. Yet, there's a divide in how they approach these. Some adhere to indulgence, embracing passionate cravings at all times, resorting to bloody or primitive rituals to bolster their willpower. On the other hand, the Temperance faction, working from the potion's name, advocates for repressing desires, keeping them pent up, only unleashing them during critical moments to unleash formidable forces. Hence, one faction is known as Indulgence and the other as Temperance. Prisoner. Lumen silently echoed the name of the Sequence 9 potion and thought, I reckon the Temperance faction got it right. Any normal person would. After all, the body's like a cage for the heart, and the world is a cage for the body. She heard this shit from fucking Gio for sure, bro. I feel like they uttered this exact phrase in Lord of the Mysteries. Madness must be curbed and desires reined in, but there'll always be a few with a few screws loose. After indulgence, all that's left is madness, barely being able to retain their basic faculties. No wonder the werewolves reacted that way. It seems they truly belong to the Rose School of Thought. If the others in their rank share their mindset, it only confirms their strength. Surviving to this day without wit would demand remarkable strength. Franca gazed out the window, watching the daylight grow brighter, and spoke. In the beginning, the Indulgence faction and the Temperance faction barely tolerated each other. If you ignore me, I'll ignore you. But later, the Indulgence faction started claiming the Chained God, whom both factions believed in, is actually the embodiment of some evil god. Some evil god? Giving into desires? Mother Tree of Desire? Yes. Someone you know, or rather, a deity you know. No, I don't want to fucking know her. The Rose School of Thought actually believes in the Mother Tree of Desire. The werewolf's investigation of the Savoy mob's information seems more complicated than expected. Does the Bliss Society have connection to the Rose School of Thought? Frank aside, powers related to desire can be useful, but they can't be used for the right purposes. Blame it on the evil god? Lumion questioned. It's best if you don't try. I still know what I can try and what I shouldn't. I understand that the dangers posed by the evil gods better than you. Yes. Later on, the Indulgence faction launched a surprise attack on the Temperance faction and inflicted several injuries. The remaining members of the faction fled in a sorry state and were hunted down for a long time before being protected by Mr. Fool. I've heard that Saint Sharon from Mr. Fool's church was once a member of the Temperance faction. Likewise for the Angel of the Holy Spirit, beside Mr. Fool's throne. Angel of the Holy Spirit. Miss Messenger. Cool. The Indulgence faction is terrifyingly powerful to be able to hunt down the angel-led Temperance faction and send them scurrying. There's no doubt they have angels, and not just one. They have the fraud, Sua. And from Mr. Fool's church, can protect the Temperance faction. After hearing this, Lumion gained a rough understanding of the Rose School of Thought's history, and grew even more confident in the Fool's strength. Simultaneously, he understood why the Knights of Sword, the other holders of a minor arcana, intended to blow up the Rose School of Thought's warehouse. Should we stop calling it the Rose School of Thought? Can't we just call it the School of Indulgence? Lumion taunted. What a lame name. Do you think every organization is as uncreative as the Iron and Blood Cross Order? As they chatted, they heard Jenna's familiar gait approaching. Jenna opened the door and was taken aback to find Lumion. Something happened to him last night, Franca explained. What? Jenna asked. Franca briefly recounted the werewolf and the Rose School of Thought, leaving out the deep connection that tied her, Lumion, and the Church of the Fool. The more Jenna listened, the more alarmed she became. She felt that a Sequence 9 was truly nothing in the world of mysticism. Her determination grew to become an instigator as soon as possible. I'll briefly explain the situation of zombie and wraith so you don't rush forward without knowing anything, or sense the abnormality without realizing. Compared to werewolf, a zombie's greatest transformation is their steel-like sturdiness, unafraid of fire, bullets, or cannonballs. You need to hit them in the same spot over and over to break through their defenses. As zombies, as long as their head remains intact, they are not in danger. They have also mastered decomposition, frost and death type spells that can awaken and control ghosts and corpses. And stops when I come out. Just bring her into your room, Kami. What are you bothering for? After entering the Wraith state, they can traverse different mirrors and use them to conceal themselves. Even if you activate the spirit vision, it's almost impossible to see them directly. If you encounter something similar to a poltergeist, you mustn't be careless. You have to consider the possibility of dealing with a true Wraith. Are attacks targeting spirits even more effective against Wraiths and zombies? Yes, I recommend the abilities of the Sun Domain. But I suggest that you run if you can when facing such an enemy. If you can't, seek help. The door is open. Yeah, the cat's not going to come in by itself. Bring the cat in and then close the door. If that was the case, the mystical item made from the Shadow Branch would come in handy. Lumion had yet to make contact with Madame Magician. He planned to wait for Mr. K to reward him before deciding which domains beyond her characteristic to match the Shadow Branch. In theory, yes, but it may have the opposite effect, Franca warned. After discussing the Rose School of Thought, Jenna recounted how she had been recruited as an informant and provided information for the Deep Valley Cloister. Franca genuinely felt happy for her. That's right, this way you have a fixed source of resources, but the officials are very strict. You can't rely on them completely, okay? Lumion hadn't expected Valentine to be in the market district as well. He was concerned about his lack of necessary disguises. The mystery prying glasses could only be used at critical moments. After some thought, he said to Jenna, "Showing your devotion to EBS in front of the purifier will yield unexpected gains." "You seem experienced," Jenna said. Leaving three Rue de Bleu Blanche, Lumion strolled back to Salle de Barbry. The more he delved into secret organizations, the more he sensed his lack of knowledge. Lumion sipped a glass of absinthe and settled into his office. Just as he was about to find a more comfortable position, starlight oozed forth. The door swung open and Madame Magician emerged. "What's the matter?" Lumion rose to his feet. "The friend I mentioned earlier, the one who can help you decipher the symbolic elements, has recently finished his work and is on a vacation. I'll take you to him now." "Okay," Lumion responded with unusual excitement. "Oh, let's go, baby. Who do we get to see? Amon? A friend good at Palais, maybe? I don't know." Do you think Palais can now fucking chill because, like, Amon is gone? You think maybe he can just chill out for a bit? Lumion had eagerly been waiting for the dream symbols to be interpreted, so that he could get enough clues before meeting with the Padre. Only then could he effectively interrogate him. This time, when Madame Magician placed her hand on his shoulder, the unusual layers of saturated colors and strange creatures were absent. Instead, he felt a surge of starlight before finding himself in a distorted and concealed dark tunnel. Dude, Palaz was like throwing a fucking party when Amon left. He's like, "Holy shit, music change, thank you." His spirit and body seemed in chaos, unsure if he was moving forward, retreating, or simultaneously ascending and descending. The state was brief, and Lumion couldn't exactly describe the duration either, as if time had slipped from his grasp. When he returned to his senses, he almost suspected that he was at Salle de Barbry, and in the next moment he arrived at his destination. Before him lay a primitive forest, its dense canopy almost blotting out the sky. "Go in," Madame Magician said. Following her instructions, Lumion stepped forward, treading on tumbling leeches and navigating through the dancing poisonous insects in the air and vegetation. He reached the hunter's net hut and pushed open the door. Inside, rows of bookshelves lined the walls and a wooden table stood in the center. A figure sat behind the table, dressed in a white shirt and black open coat, appearing somewhat obscured by thick fog. Lumion could barely make him out. "Have a seat," the figure spoke. "Hello," Lumion greeted. "May I know how I should address you?" "Think of me as a poet." Alright, bro. Alright. Leonard, you fucking loser. Lumion didn't understand the influence of the codename, but still chose to show respect. "Hello, Mr. Poet." The poet gave a small nod. "Magician has shared the entire dream and related information with me, but I'd still like to hear your account." Addressing her directly as Magician, is he also a member of the Tarot Club? A holder of a major arcana? Lumion sized him up. In the dense fog, he got a clearer impression. His black hair, longer than usual, giving him an artistic appearance. His eyes, emerald green. Listen, I haven't lost it all, baby. I still got it. Alright, he recounted Cordu's nightmare, supplemented by various traces found in the ruins and the vast amount of information he had gathered. Compared to before, his emotions were still stirred by recalling these matters, but not as intensely. As he spoke, Lumion noticed the poet leaning back and clasping his hands between his chest and his abdomen. Thank you, comment. Vanitas, whoa. As he spoke, in the next second, Lumion noticed strange insects crawling in and out of the other party's eye socket? Huh? Insects? Sleepless pathway? Or bishop? The fuck? Knight of Misfortune. No, there's no way he's a Knight of Misfortunes. Sequence 1. I'm so confused. The insects switch between translucency and opaqueness, as if carrying rings on their backs. Such a scene nearly made Lumion forget his recount. It was like facing the headless monster created by Supervisor Olsen. He composed himself and forced himself to ignore the insects, expressing all that he had to say. It truly is a dream filled with symbolic meaning, the poet said. Let us begin with the simplest, the deceased warlock. Doesn't it symbolize Aurora's becoming inevitability's blessed and dying? This is a typical dual construction symbol. In other words, it contains two layers of meanings. The first is about the warlock representing the power of inevitability, or rather, corruption, also standing for Termi Boris. The coffin is like the concept of death, both symbolizing the sealing of inevitability's power and its loss of vitality. The tomb representing a sort of seal. In the dream, we can see that the warlock is truly dead and has never left the tomb, aligning with the sealed state on your body. Your sister Aurora got some boon from inevitability in this incident as well. She's suspected to be one of the leaders, embodying the power of inevitability to an extent. Plus, she's already dead, so the warlock matters takes on a second meaning. These two layers of symbolism are superimposed through inevitability's core power, which can make interpreters overlook one of them. So that's how it is. Lumion's heart sank as he became convinced by the poet. Now that we've unraveled the full symbolism of the deceased warlock, there's a preliminary answer for the owl and the other you. The other you symbolizes both your mutated personality due to corruption and Termi Boris's attempt to achieve his goal by influencing your thoughts. If we only had the first symbol, the other you probably wouldn't be able to leave the tomb. The fact that the owl can freely enter and exit means that it can bypass the seal to an extent, displaying a few characteristics. Monitoring your changes, not showing up at critical moments, and guarding the warlock. Based on our interpretation, the owl represents another blessed of inevitability, assigned to monitor you. Its attitude towards the deceased warlock is quite ambiguous. It didn't exhibit the protective behavior it should have, nor did it assist you during the final ritual. Bypassing the seal suggests it is in the outside world and maybe communicating with Termi Boris in a way. I'm not sure about that yet. You shan't ignore other possibilities. The underground altar exists, but what does the sufferer's aura in the dream represent, Lumion asked. The first layer symbolizes the previous appearance of the power of inevitability, but this is only one layer. It's unlikely that the symbolic element will take the form of the sufferer's aura. The poet took a moment. As for the second, if the owl, the blessed of inevitability, who watches over you is already a sufferer, it means it doesn't want others to come into contact with the altar of inevitability, also symbolizing the power of inevitability. Furthermore, we have observed that you suffered the least damage back then, suggesting that the sufferer isn't willing to kill you. It may even protect you to an extent, quite similar to the psychiatric treatment you received in Trier's Market District. So from the beginning, that person was eyeing Termi Boris. Of course, before his intentions are revealed, will he cooperate with Termi Boris? Termi Boris attempted to influence me, but without success. Could that be the reason? I suspect there's a third layer. It represents a true sufferer in Cordu, a sufferer who's not at a beyonder level. True sufferer. The poet wasn't certain about this, so he didn't elaborate any further. Whether or not the lizard-like elf exists, its symbolic importance is quite evident. Firstly, it represents a yearning for the cemetery and a fascination for entering and exiting the tomb. It never truly enters the tomb of the warlock, signifying its affiliation with another faction, and linked to the power of inevitability, yet not the same. It appears to be using this connection to seek and attain something related to inevitability. Secondly, it symbolizes concealed corruption and unconscious alterations. In the entire dream, only two individuals have a lizard-like elf crawl out of their mouth, Aurora and the Deputy Padre. What do you recall about Mikhail Guerriege? He's somewhat similar to the dream, but not exaggerated, Lumion said. A devout believer of EBS, when he was shunned by Guillaume Benet, he became fixated on giving sermons and hearing confessions. Later, his behavior became more apparent. He thought of Aurora, the other person who had the elf-like lizard emerge from her mouth. Hadn't she also neglected to ask Hela for help? Your sister Aurora exhibited the same behavior. Thirdly, the faction or deity representing by the elf-like lizard does not wish to witness an angel of inevitability descending, symbolizing a role of a saboteur. If it hadn't been the person with the lizard-like elf crawling out of the mouth who knocked you out, brought you to the final sacrificial site, and turned you into a vessel, the ritual may have yet succeeded. Consider this. During the ritual, if someone else had stood in front of Aurora instead of you, would she have given a moment of clarity? Would she have gained a moment of clarity and pushed him off the altar? 300! The big 3-0! Let's go, baby! We're what, a quarter way done now? I think this is only like 1100 chapters or something. I say only, but... by the way, I have a week off in April, so we'll do some longer streams. Then we'll do like day streams, longer streams, be chilling. I also have a couple of days off next week, but it depends on how the weather. If the weather's nice, I might be busy and just do night streams. If the weather's dog shit, then I might just stay in the house and just stream. Upon hearing Mr. Poet's question, Lumion was caught off guard. A shiver ran up his spine. Whether it was Aurora who had knocked him out of the dream and led him to the grounds, or the deputy padre who had done it in reality, they had been secretly corrupted, evident from the lizard crawling out of their mouth. No, Kami, I want it to be clear. I want to go riding. We picked up our motorcycle. I'm learning to ride, okay? I'm still not great, like, so I need like time on the road. What does it mean? What are its true motives? Lumion asked. I'm just interpreting the symbolic meaning. I can't reconstruct the truth, but I can offer some speculation. The faction, represented by the lizard-like elves, aim to use the large-scale sacrifice to summon an angel for some other hidden purpose, but they don't want Termiboris to descend for real. There must be a conflict between them and inevitability. What motives do they have? That is one of the paths of your investigation. Decryption isn't divination or prophecy. You need information for deduction. I can't just make wild guesses. I've already deciphered the more crucial symbolic elements. There's only one left. Your dream holds a strong meaning. The dream itself? It symbolizes protection. Back then, due to intense emotional upheavals, your mind was on the verge of collapse, and yet you fell into a deep slumber. If not for the comfort and hope provided by the dream, you may have collapsed completely, driven by your self-destructive tendencies. You may have been irrational to your death. Moreover, we can confirm that you don't have the ability to produce a dream of reality, nor can you draw investigators into that dream. The sealed Termiboris couldn't do it either. In other words, the dream is a result of external interference. We haven't grasped the specific abilities of high-sequence beyonders of the inevitability pathway. We can't determine if it was done by the inevitability blessed symbolized by the owl, or influenced by another faction. In short, besides the entity known as inevitability, no one else wants to see Termiboris descend upon the land. Lumion instantly recalled the area around the blood-colored mountain peak in Cordu. Before he could bring up the subject, the poet added, considering that the area that forced others into sleep is around the sacrificial grounds and not the house where you sleep, I'm inclined to believe it is influenced by other factions. Their main purpose is to disrupt the ritual, and pacifying you just comes with it. If it was done by inevitability, symbolized by the owl, the location of the abnormal area would be the opposite. What's the significance of the empty baby cradle in the administrator's castle? It's rather minor. It represents the child of the Great Mother. Based on the information you provided, it seems the child may have entered our world secretly during the final ritual, aided by another blood-related son. It then left Cordu unnoticed, leaving an empty cradle. Spawn of the Great Mother. Inevitability's faction have taken a great risk and worked tirelessly for nearly a year, all for the sake of obtaining a sealed angel. Yet ultimately, it served the purpose of the Great Mother. Of analysis on Volume 1? I mean, far be it from me to think I know better than a fucking angel. I'll take his word for it, Kami. With those thoughts, Lumion let go of his worries. The Saints and Angels of the Tarot Club would undoubtedly handle this matter. It was far beyond a mere Sequence 7. Why was the entire village of Cordu destroyed, yet only my home remained intact? I believe it symbolizes Aurora's nostalgia, reluctance, and regret. After the ritual, she should have regained some clarity, and in the midst of the fusion of the villagers' flesh and blood, she protected the building that represented her life. Of course, it's also possible she leveraged other forces. I've deciphered all the elements of your dream, the poet said. Thank you, Mr. Poet. Lumion stood up and bowed. And following the Church of the Fool's custom, pressed his hand to his chest and bowed slightly. For a moment, his mind turned adrift, seeing the poet, the wooden table, and all things fade away like a dream. What a dick. In an instant, the darkness vanished, and Lumion found himself standing at the edge of a marketplace. In the distance, there were white buildings with dark black or earthy yellow bells and spires. Nearby, cloudy tents and herds of cows, sheep, and horses were scattered. Most people passing through the market had dark skin, as if exposed to the sun every day. A chilling wind howled as Lumion gazed at the snow-covered mountain peak in the distance. His conversation with the poet felt like a vivid dream. No, it was a dream. That's why he couldn't see Mr. Poet. I didn't even realize it. When did the dream start? It felt so similar to the dream I had in Cordu. Could it be that the poet's divine path has the power to make others dream? And the abnormal area around the blood-colored mountains be related to similar ability? Just then, Madam Magician appeared beside him. Do you wish to go back to the dance hall? Where are we? Lumion asked. Star Highlands, Rapus, one of the significant cities in the Highland Kingdom, also known as the City of White. Star Highlands. Lumion recalled the Rose School of Thought and recounted the werewolf attack and Martin's arrangement to Madam Magician, finally asking, did the Rose School of Thought enter the market district because of the Tree of Shadow and didn't gather detailed information about me? You should have asked these questions earlier. The gentleman who helped you decipher the dream is an expert at dealing with the Rose School of Thought. Alright, I'll ask him for now. With that, she vanished, and a few minutes later reappeared. Based on the gentleman's experience, although the Mother Tree of Desire and its worshipping organizations show clear purpose, decisiveness, and accurate foresight, when it comes to specific events, they often appear chaotic, disorderly, and even mad. In simpler terms, the organization worshipping the Mother Tree of Desire doesn't cooperate or communicate well. They act erratically and unpredictably. However, in the past year or two, the gentleman noticed some rudimentary cooperation amongst these organizations. Some of even the devil families have become involved. Oh shit, the devil families? We might actually get something about them, because I feel like we never heard any. Like, I heard their names, like, I know the only one I remember offhand was the Beria family, the Beria. The families that control the devil pathway, the criminal pathway. Some of them show signs of worshipping the Mother Tree of Desire as well. Criminal pathway. Lumion began to recall Aurora's grimoire. Sequence 9, Criminal. Sequence 8, Cold-Blooded. Sequence 7, Serial Killer. Turning to Madam Magician, Lumion inquired, what are the names of Sequence 6 and 5? Sequence 6 is Devil, and 5 is Desire Apostle. From worshipping the devil to becoming one, a fitting name for the devil pathway. And Desire Apostle sounds like a Beyonder who would follow the Mother Tree of Desire, a compatible match. The first major qualitative transformation of the criminal pathway is Sequence 6, Devil, and the corresponding Beyonders temporarily transform into a devil. Not only will their strength, speed, and defense improve, but they'll also become immune to most poisons and acquire resistance to curses and flames. More importantly, they possess malicious perception. If someone wishes to cause them harm, and take steps in reality to make it happen, both parties are within a range, the devil can sense the source of danger in the perpetrator. So powerful. Lumion couldn't help but frown. I love how we hear this now, but like in volume 3, we see Klein actually abuse the piss out of it. He's like, he walks into a bar, and then like, he's like, okay, cool. Like, you'll sense if I'm hostile. Okay, well, I'm just going to bribe you with a drink or whatever. I can't remember how that whole thing started. And there was that really dope artwork with like Lumion dragging the fucking devil corpse. Like, oh well. If the Rose School of Thought's subsequent operation had members of the Devil family involved, the situation would become very dangerous. Of course, the prisoner pathway were also terrifying. And most importantly, at certain sequences, beyonders of these pathways had formidable defenses against flames. God damn it, pyromaniacs are in for a rough time. After pondering for a moment, Lumion asked, how short can the period of time for malicious perception be? The pathway is highly individualistic. Devils from various races possess their distinct abilities. Among even devils originating from the same race, differences arise due to individuals. The reason behind this lies in the requirement for the ostentatious malice. Unique wills, distinct heart, and a penchant for desires all amalgamate to form the diverse nature of devils. Now to your inquiry, some devils can sense malice merely minutes before it occurs, whereas others can foretell it hours or even more in advance. As they progress in sequence, this ability only gets stronger. The range of this ability's influence can span a few kilometers, an entire district, or even all of Trier. Furthermore, devils wield an array of spells including flames, poison, and filth. The more Lumion listened, the more serious he became. Devils are powerful. After briefing the Desire Apostle's abilities, Madam Magician smiled. Don't worry too much. Even if the Rose School of Thought takes action, their target will most likely be Martin. You'll just be along for the ride. Iron and Blood Cross Order, being a secret organization, has enough strength to resist the Rose School of Thought, even if the Devil families were to participate. If the Bliss Society and the Rose School of Thought share intelligence, you may become their primary target, but they won't launch a fatal attack paradoxically. They fear releasing Inevitability's angel, Boris. As long as you pay more attention to abnormalities and suspected conspiracies, you'll have time to seek help. If the Rose School of Thought sends an angel to capture me, how would I possibly find time? Lumion retorted. Do you think Trier's a public washroom where an angel can descend and snatch someone away? If it weren't for the alternative space of the Tree of Shadow and the Paramita world enveloping it, that brainless abomination wouldn't have been able to descend its power. So remember to avoid such places and live under the sun in Trier. Abomination? Lumion asked. Yes, abomination. Oh, Sua? Seriously? There was Sua there? Yes, Abomination, the child of the chained god whom the Mother Tree of Desire worships and the Rose School of Thought originally worshipped. A Sequence 1 angel and the leader of the Indulgence faction. I won't tell you his name, his real name. The guy's covered in curses. If you say his real name often, you may become a frog that needs a prince's kiss to recover. Or even worse. I don't know how you missed him. He's a bum, I don't really care. Why a prince? Lumion asked. Why else would it be called a curse? Lumion was speechless. The spawn of the Mother Tree of Desire are angels already roaming the world, and to descend, the child of the Great Mother requires a ritual. Is one more special than the other? Lumion's heart filled with trauma as he thought of Louis Lund. Could the Mother Tree of Desire impregnate creatures of all races and genders through the barrier? Lumion asked. She doesn't have authority in that regard. That belongs to the Great Mother. However, if you're enticed by her and end up interacting with the power she has descended or the aura seeped into the world, she has ways to impregnate you. Furthermore, the chained god, the prisoner pathway, is rather special and has a close relationship to the Mother Tree of Desire. If it weren't for Mr. Fool's protection, the Temperance faction would have more or less been influenced by her in the past year or two. I believe the Temperance faction's philosophy is correct, but why can the Indulgence faction still grow and have such strength? Is it because there's no fear of losing control when they're insane? The Temperance faction's philosophy is correct, but it doesn't mean the Indulgence faction is completely erroneous. You have to remember that acting based on the potion's aim is like tarot cards. There's a difference between the upright and reversed position. Even if we act in the upright position, the acting principles surmised by different people will vary according to their own minds and experience. After all, we're just acting. Our goal is to deceive the mental imprint left behind by that entity and digest the potion bit by bit. It would be troublesome if we align completely with him. So the phrase, "remember you're only acting," not only prevents us from losing control, but also helps us avoid problems altogether? Yes. Mr. Poet mentioned that there are multiple organizations that worship the Mother Tree of Desire. Poet. Forrest smiled a little. They're all relatively small organizations that haven't formed a large cult. They're far inferior to the Rose School of Thought and the Devil families. but they're hidden. Currently we're aware of 3, the Bliss Society, the Naturism Sect, and the Tree Worship Sect. Madam, once I receive the reward from Mr. K, I'd like your help in finding a saint-level artisan to craft an item. Do you happen to know the price? I haven't rewarded you yet for successfully joining the Iron and Blood Cross Order, so how about using that reward to cover the cost? Perfect! Receiving 3 rewards for 1 mission is truly remarkable. A friend's relative knows a demigod-level artisan. I'll check with them first. If it doesn't work out, I'll find another option. Is this Roselle's grandson? Son? Whoever I'm thinking of? A descendant of Roselle? She then smiled and asked, isn't he with Cattleya? She then smiled and asked, with the gap between the lucky one and the potential reward from Mr. K, are you sure you want to use one of them to create an item? I won't have any regrets, Lumi nodded. His approach had always been to utilize all the resources available. Elf, there it is. It had to be known that the pottery was a Sequence 5 bestowed when he left Cordu. He may have even taken a potion to boost his strength even more. He needed to make use of every available resource to enhance his skills quickly and gather allies to increase his chances of success. During his early days, Lumion once stumbled upon a wild apple tree laden with fruit. He intended to wait for the apples to grow larger and less sour before figuring out how to pluck them. But to his surprise, a few days later, someone else had harvested all the small, sour apples. This incident left a profound mark on Lumion, influencing his approach to handling things. See, that's clever. That's like, it's a really tiny thing, but it's like, this is like having lived a life of, want is probably not the right word, but I can't, but like having lived like a pretty dispossessed life, Lumion is very hands-on. He's like, everything I can do right now, I will do right now. Because I don't want luck or other shit getting in the way, because like, that shit doesn't work out well for me. Whereas Klein is like a lot more like, hey, let's see what happens. Let's try to, you know, put pieces together. Whereas Lumion is like, fuck it, we ball right now. I'll figure it out, baby. Madam Magician didn't say more and asked again, do you want to return to the dance hall or stay here till noon? I'd like to explore a bit, Lumion nodded. Madam Magician nodded as well and vanished. Almost instantly, a bone-chilling wind swept through the crowd and struck Lumion. Having come from Trier in the summer, he couldn't help but shiver at the harsh winters. Accompanied by the cold breeze and the distant clamor of the market, he truly became immersed in this world. Recalling how Force's arrival and disappearance had gone unnoticed, Lumion made a quick guess. She created a wall of spirituality, or pulled me into an alternative space? As these thoughts raced, he noticed that the passerbys were staring at him in puzzlement. What are you staring at? Haven't you seen someone acting cool, Lumion muttered, relying on an alms monk endurance, venturing into the market? The smell of fresh livestock dung, the smell of aroma, the tantalizing scent of roasted meats and the spices filled his nostrils. Lumion surveyed the area and spotted numerous stalls selling various food items. After a moment of consideration, he made his way through the cleared path amongst the marketers. The stall owner was a man in his 30s with dark, flushed hair, a gaunt face and high cheekbones. Lumion pointed at the bubbling yellow corn paste and said how much. He noticed that some people here understood Intesian. 5 kopay for 1 cup, the stall owner said. A lick, pretty cheap. Lumion glanced at the corn paste with mutton chops and pulled out a few brass coins. The vendor breathed a sigh of relief and produced a paper cup that didn't quite match the market's style and technology. He filled it up generously, even adding a few extra meat chunks. Lumion received the cup, warmth spreading through his body, a wonderful experience to have something warm while enduring the biting cold. The even better experience was the warm corn paste flowing through his mouth. The corn paste, with its light sweetness and a hint of spiciness, perfectly complemented the beef and mutton cubes. Ignoring the cautious glances and the women and the fear and loathing from the man driving the cows and sheep, Lumion sipped his corn paste and made his way to the end of the market. Soon entering the city of White, Rapis, noticing the EBS Cathedral and the God of Steam and Machinery Cathedral with various industrial components. The White Buildings shop selling leather and fabrics, the Highland Import and Export Corporation, the Rapis Mining Federation. Lumen picked up a shop called the Highland Mystic Potion and entered like a tourist. The owner, an Intesian in his 40s. "Good morning, dear compatriot," Lumen smiled. "Did you encounter a bandit?" the man asked, looking at Lumen's attire. "I just arrived in Rapis. There was an accident on the way," Lumen responded. "The southern continent isn't all it's cracked up to be, but it's a paradise for adventurers. I arrived in West Balam 15 years ago in search of opportunities. Life only turned for the better when I found the City of White." "Brother, would you like some mummy powder?" "Real mummy powder?" the owner smiled. "Why don't you display the mummy in the window to prove its authenticity?" Lumion asked. "That would upset the barbarians," the boss smiled. "Buy some mummy powder, but most can't accept mummies as commodities. When I left Trier, there was a shortage of mummy powder. The price skyrocketed. Ever thought of transporting mummies back to Trier? Maritime trade is too risky, and the import and export companies give terrible prices, not to mention the taxes. Those damn hyenas." Lumion glanced at the owner. "If you're willing to take the risk, we can cooperate." "How many mummies can you provide?" "Depends on how many you want. And have as many." "Lumion unearthed the grave of a nobleman from Highland Kingdoms? Or will you find a corpse or even a living person to make one on the spot?" After wandering for a little bit, Lumion left the store, pretending he needed some time to consider the offer. Curiosity got the better of him, and he followed the crowd inside, only to find Intis soldiers clad in their distinctive black triangular hats and blue coats. Rapis, Lumion thought to himself, a truly Intesian colonial city. Rapis' specialized court, he read the mural above. Taking a seat in the empty corridor of the courtroom, Lumion tuned into the trial. 2 Intis soldiers stood accused of a heinous crime, intercepting a newlywed couple in the suburbs, murdering the husband, and subjecting the wife to unspeakable horrors. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? The latter was fortunate enough to survive. With numerous witnesses and ample evidence, the case appeared quite clear-cut. After much deliberation, the judge finally pronounced them guilty, decreeing their immediate expulsion from the Highlands. Upon their return to Intis, they would face punishment in a military court. The verdict didn't sit well with the local crowd. They expressed their dissatisfaction loudly, but the judge remained resolute. Lumion observed the faces of the agitated, angered locals as they were forced to leave. As he strolled past the Ebius Cathedral, he noticed a group of clergymen in white robes, walking towards the cathedral, keeping a safe distance from the crowd. Lumion, relying on his hunter's ears, strained to catch words from afar. Through the distance he made out, Evernight's power has invaded this place. Could it be that the goddess church of the Lone Kingdom is extending its reach into the Star Highlands? At 12:30, Madam Magician escorted Lumion to the dance hall, and he reappeared in his bedroom. He sat down at the wooden table and began reorganizing Mr. Poet's interpretation. In the midst of his work, Lumion heard footsteps and an impolite knock. "Come in," he said. "It's Franca." "Very strange," Lumion asked. Franca, wearing her usual attire of blouse, beige breeches, and red boots, but now she wore a light-colored pleated dress. "I'm not used to wearing dresses yet. This'll have to do. It's just a welcome pleasure." "Pleasure? Since you've joined the Iron and Blood Cross Order, my initial mission is complete. Now I'll see if I can join and assist your cooperation. And since the mission is complete, there should be a reward. The next sequence for a witch is Demoness of Pleasure." Okay, I feel like Lumion and Franca could digest Franca's potion in like 2 days. Intense stamina both of them have, okay? "Yes, I already have all the main ingredients and most of the supplementary ones, except for real mummy ashes. I came to ask if you could keep an eye out. Damn it, those mummy ashes sold in shops are all fake." What a twist! Alright, I think we'll probably do... This is the last one for today. 303. This will be 7 chapters. Or 6, I think. 8, 9, 0. 3? Yeah, 6. Maybe we can do one more, maybe. Mummy ashes. Lumien's mind immediately went to the Highland Mystic Shop in Rapis. The mummies had their origins in the Highland Kingdom. They even had a special Highlander term for them. In simpler terms, the most genuine, ancient mummies could be found in Star Highlands. Why do you think men in Trier are so keen on things that enhance their abilities in that area? They even dare consume mummy ashes. This means that those who genuinely need it can't afford it, goddammit. Many women in Trier are interested as well, hoping their partners can perform better, Lumien said. Does it work? He asked, curiously. I can't see any other effects besides getting sick from using the powder made from a specially prepared corpse. Well, in mysticism it's different. Think about it. Trier is now flooded with fake ashes. People are gobbling them up without even knowing. There are many herbs with such effects, but once they're labeled as mummy ashes, the price skyrockets. Who wouldn't do it? Don't overestimate the merchant's conscience. I've heard complaints at many gatherings about people finding dead rats, grinding them into powder, mixing them with herbs and selling it as mummy ashes. What the fuck? When I found, before I had superpowers and was struggling, I saw the cafe owner making fake coffee from chicory? Later, he couldn't even afford that. He gathered some coffee dregs, animal bile, and even brick dust and soot as a substitute. Jesus Christ. Believe me, if you visit the kitchens of certain restaurants, you'd want to hang the boss from the gallows. Franca continued, expressing her frustration with counterfeit and inferior products. Have you finished digesting your potion? A long time ago, Franca smiled smugly. Have you seen me act as a witch recently? You seem to despise the Rose School of Thought for their acts of terror. You even mock them for hindering colonization resistance by the southern continent. I don't understand. Shouldn't they resist? They should, if they wish to seek the adrenaline from exacting revenge. But if you want to lead the southern continent to expel the colonialists, such actions will have the opposite effect. A philosopher back home once said that no king should send out troops in anger. Resisting colonization is a serious, challenging matter, and it shouldn't become a wastebasket for venting one's emotions. There are many workers and laborers here, Lumien said. They work hard and sleep in the bug-infested rooms every day. Are they colonists? Did they benefit from the colonies? I don't think so. The most likely possibility is that they still have a job that barely provides sustenance. It's the bosses who have too much profit. Kami! Someone get fucking Eisenhower in here. We need to take care of this Kami, okay? They had their own demands and a desire to change the current society. They often join Trier citizens in various marches and protests. There are many people in Trier, some of them have various reasons, and even sympathize with the southern continent's colonies. A philosopher king back home once said that we must distinguish between our friends and foes. The Rose School of Thought's various terrorist acts will only pit those who sympathize with the colonists and those who are resisting the government against them. It makes the object of hatred that will be exploited by the rulers to bridge any internal conflicts. It will harm the people of the southern continent's resistance. The philosopher king even prohibited the intelligence officers from carrying out assassinations or seeking revenge. As long as we can gather allies, Franca said, isolate our enemies and ignite a tiny spark, we can set the whole thing ablaze. Who is friend, who is foe? The words left a profound impact on Lumien. I agree with you. The Rose School of Thought's acts of terror are foolish, mere decisions made after their minds are filled with desire. As believers of the Mother Tree of Desire, it's quite expected. If the Rose School of Thought focused on assassinating colonial generals, members of parliament, and high-ranking government officials, as well as destroying battleships and arsenals, I wouldn't mock them. But their blood sacrifice, discriminating people, and the actions are the actions of lunatics. It's a classic case of turning sympathizers against each other, Lumien remarked. Not only do these lunatics carry out blood sacrifices in the northern continent, but they also do it in the southern. The southern continent has the Rose School of Thought as another insurmountable object. Lumien nodded and said that lady took me to the Star Highlands during my tour of the Star Highlands, I encountered a mummy merchant. Should I request permission again to visit and get some mummy ashes for you? That lady. No need. Just because Trier has plenty of counterfeit goods doesn't mean there's nothing. Let's try to find one. If not, we'll do that. I hope you can advance to Sequence 6 quickly. Huh? Franca was confused. Lumion didn't hide anything and said, "It's been prophesied that Guillaume Benet will appear in the next week. I want to find him, and I need friends. The boss has already agreed to help me. The stronger you are, the better for me." You're learning, kid. You aren't even holding back. Made a request without getting any agreement to help. Isn't that what I'm doing now? Wait a few more days. If we still can't find Mummy Ashes, we'll go to the southern continent to look for them. Remember, try not to disturb the major arcana if possible. Right. A subordinate who couldn't handle problems on their own, bothering their superiors all the time, would be left behind. Furthermore, the Tarot Club followed a rule of equivalent exchange. What price would one have to pay to enlist the help of a demigod? After chatting for a while, Franca, who was about to leave, glanced out the window and said, "Although Martin knows the situation and has made preparations, don't be careless. The Rose School of Thought is an ancient organization." Why are you bringing this up? The boss is at least a conspirer. He has probably set traps, awaiting the arrival. On this topic, the two of them continued their conversation as they left the bedroom and entered the corridor. "I sense something amiss with your glass in your window. I suspect a wraith." A Rose School of Thought's wraith? Franca discovered something with her witch powers? Lumion tensed as he nodded slightly. He saw Franca stroll into the cafe and depart from the dance hall. Like always, he stepped into his regular seat and savored his coffee. An hour went by and Lumion started to feel more at ease, thinking the wraith had probably left, so he shifted his focus to Martin. The following days were filled with paranoia for Lumion. He sensed eyes on him from the glass windows in his room and bathroom mirrors, but nothing occurred. Finally, the day of reward arrived. As Lumion descended the stairs of the motel, he encountered an unfamiliar woman. Dressed in a lake blue dress, her brown hair flowed naturally, and her brown eyes had a unique ethereal quality. As Lumion passed by the front desk, he asked, "Is that young lady a new tenant?" "No, she's Miss Safari, staying in room 309. She went to a small seaside town to be a human model for a painter, just returning today." How enviable. Job lets her take vacations by the seas? A human model? Lumion nodded and left the motel, catching a public carriage to Avenue de Boulevard. Alrighty, we made it. God. Alright, everyone. 6 chapters, not bad. Not bad. We will end it there, everyone. I hope you all have a great rest of your day or nights. Yeah, pretty good. Harsh. GG's. Wait, it was Harsh? No, it was Aaron that I played. Never mind. Yeah, pretty chill stream. Fine. Okay. Bye, y'all. Aaron, if you're here, GG's. If not, get fucked, loser. All right, bye, boys.